Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, October the 23rd. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We are looking at SPY here, and this fade is, was looking pretty good in the pre-market, and then it's rolled over. So what are the big things affecting it? Well, we've got yields that are pushing even higher, and we've got a little bit more war activity in the space. Wow, that was interesting. We just had some news pop off, but that's not what made that happen. Not really sure why we had that jump and then a fade, but here's how it looks. Bounces or sell zones. However, this area down here is really kind of close to support levels that we might see with traders coming back in and trying to hold a floor. So we'll watch. All right, here's what you want to think about. Remember, two candles to the left. We have a breakdown here and then a push higher. If that happens, we could go all the way back to 425, but really right now we're just trying to hold the floor of last week. And we just broke lower just a few moments ago. This October low just broke to a lower low. So that tells us that bounces are still going to be sell zones. How do we want to pay attention to that? Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Not sure why that came in there, but we've seen two of those this morning. And here's what we want to see. Do you see the trend? See the Keltner channel? Everything negative. That means the bounces are going to be sell zones. Here's the interesting piece. If you're looking for the shorts, the best thing to do is pay attention to where frontline resistance is. But if you've got wicks like this, folks, it's going to be hard to keep in a trade, right? Just instead consider something like a 4-hour and then say, all right, you know what? I'm going to look at the last time we had a significant amount of price pressure, and that was at 425. That's going to be my resistance zone. So I have to watch things break out and then fade. So the line in the sand here for the upper edge, once it gets past this 425.70, buyers are going to get more enthusiastic. As of now, every bounce into that zone, and indeed lower, now 423, right? This one went to 422.50 before it faded. Everything giving us sell zones, and the trend is very steeply negative. Here's the sideways formation here, and then, of course, if we take a look at our monthly chart, we can see 412. Are we oversold? A little bit. Yes, we are. But oversold doesn't really mean anything until people stop selling. And as long as we are making new lows, we cannot anticipate a reversal of trend in the near term. Doesn't mean it won't come, but we have to be very careful about that. Let me delete all of these levels. I don't want to see them anymore. All yes. All right. So here we are. Here is a frontline support zone way down here, 41.27. And then there's one here at 41.87. This is the target zone, I suspect, 41.87. And then the recovery of 42.24 is going to give us some upside pressure, right? So interestingly, we're right at that edge. So do you want to pick a bottom here? I don't want to pick a bottom here. All the bounces are still sell zones. It's very, very steep. Listen, we've seen days where the market just touched the edge and then moved like a rocket. Here's what you want to think about. This is the 4-hour chart. It just fell like a stone. Last place they were all sitting around, 42.61.50 or thereabouts, right? 42.49.50. That's going to be that last space. If it rockets above that, you can chase it up into these edges if you so desire. Heavy congestion is going to be a space where they stop and reassess what's happening. And so the 4-hour formations give us some very nice heavy congestion zones right here at this 42.24-ish area. That level is a really key area from a weekly perspective. You can see it right here. Resistance, resistance, retest of support, and then a break to the north. So that could easily happen. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, I want a bottom pick, and it loses this zone, at 42.15, 42.16, do yourself a favor and get out. Trend is going to be your friend today. So the bounces going to be sell zones. Let's take a look at NQ. And they're going to be sell zones until, of course, they break that solid pattern. Could this be a bull flag? Yeah, you know, it could. It could definitely be a bull flag. But here's my thought. Let's remove all the horizontal stuff. Here's my thought. Until the price action gives us something that says, hey, I'm not heading lower, we are going to look at resistance to be at prior levels of congestion. This is 14,709. Now, if you say to yourself, hey, I want to buy the bottom. It's oversold. I need a relief bounce. If it loses 14,520, not going to be a good shot there. You're going to see it come down literally into 14,300, right? That's really the next test right there. And then this bull pattern goes all the way to this edge here on a retrace, right? 13,706. All right. Now here's the thing. Don't freak out. The market's just repricing. Yields are up. That means it's more expensive to borrow money. Things got to get repriced. Just make sure that you are not overly exposed. And if you are overly exposed, trim some gains. If you say to yourself, wow, it's already down XYZ, listen, the market could be down another 1,000 points before you know it. We've got all the saber rattling across the pond. The war machine's moving. We've got discontent in the house. We've got people doing horrible things to each other all over the world. And, you know, that's the landscape. So don't start picking bottoms or going, hey, you know, this one's already fallen 30%. I guess I ought to hold it until it loses 70%. At some point, you have to make a reasonable thought about what's going on. And it, you know, probably should have been a while ago. But again, it is what it is, right? You protect yourself. You either put a vertical collar on or you trim some gains. Trimming some gains, not a bad idea. Let's go to the Qs. All right, let's get rid of some of these lines. Yes. All right, let's put in the spread here. Look at that. Looks about right somewhere there. Still has plenty of room to go downside, right? From a weekly perspective, we're just moving very sideways, but have a look, right? Qs, super negative. This region up here is where the volume point of control is. We'll put it at the bottom there, 358, and then it's got a little bit of motion right down here across 5 candlesticks, 354.60. Here's the bottom. I don't know why you would think about buying something here. You might go, oh, but look, how about waiting for it to stop falling? If every candlestick is still making a lower low, you've got no business buying anything, all right? If you move that into a 30-minute chart, still watch that low. If it breaks, you're in the wrong direction and you get out. If you want to trade the futures doing such a thing, use a micro if you're trying to test those edges. All right? Now let's take a look at oil. Fading a little, right? It's come off of its highs, coming back a bit. The big news is that Chevron has bought Hess in an all-stock deal. I am flabbergasted. That is such a huge thing. I mean, that's a huge deal. So we'll watch that unfold. But right now, look what happened. Last week, you know what? I'm getting rid of these lines. I'm not marrying them. We're done. Okay, so we've got Fibonacci sitting here. We'll leave those, right? We can see heavy congestion around the 83 area. I still believe that oil will come back to give me the zone that I want, somewhere around 82-ish, 80 to buy. But we'll see, right? At this juncture, take a look, 3 candlesticks, one down, one up, but high, low, higher low, higher high, higher low, but not a higher high. And so we've got to think about it in terms of what's happening right there, realizing that our best bet from a risk perspective is going to be trying to pick the bottom. And that region is around 86 today, right? We'll have to see. I think it's going to be sideways until we get, okay, PMIs tomorrow. Chicago Fed National Activity Index is today, and we've got some auctions. Got to see how those auctions go. They're short-term auctions. The big auctions are going to be the 2-year and the 5-year on Wednesday. We've got new home sales on Wednesday, EIA on Wednesday. We've got the PMI tomorrow, Richmond Fed, and then Thursday we've got GDP, jobless claims, and those sorts of things. I think people are still waiting for a shoe to drop, and if things start really slowing down from an earnings perspective and from an equities perspective, this financial instrument called the oil futures are also going to pull back. It's just the nature of financial instruments. When people get into a space when they're losing money, they're going to clear everything off the board. It doesn't matter whether it's got good upside in the near term or the far term or whatever. That's what's going to happen. All right. So very sideways. It's got higher lows. Sitting from a weekly perspective, it's very sideways on the month. My thought is range bound, but I'd love to see it come back into these lower levels so I can buy with both hands. Right now, I'll be in and out, and in the end, you know what you really want to see if you're thinking about buying anything, it's got to get up over 88. 88.30, 88.40. Gets above there. Every time it's done that, it's rejected over the recent hours. Okay? Thursday, Friday, not so much. Today, absolutely. All right, last thing, gold. I do believe that gold was caught in a squeeze, so I'm suspecting that it comes back. That is not the right gold contract, is it? 1976? No, it is not. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's see. Next. 1979. Nope, that's not it. We got to figure out what's going on here. 3. There it is. For some strange reason, G3 is the actual price, and you can see how it's come off of 2000 very, very sharply. Bitcoin futures have been up over 30,000, but also pulling back. And you know what? The dollar's pulling back a little bit today. So we could see all kinds of very, very interesting things. I believe, see how hard and fast this move was? Yeah. I always think those are reflexive moves. Here, up at the top, people selling again. And I expect the same. All right. That's it for me, folks. I'll see you on the platforms. Happy to be at home base for a few days and looking forward to seeing everybody on the midday report. Take care.